What's up, everyone? We are back. Been a bit of a hiatus, but today is a special video. Reason why, we're going to show a replay between me and Carpath. For those who don't know, Carpath is one of the best duelists in Edison format, and he's been on a 15 record streak with his new Dark Quickdraw deck. So let's see how we fare. Now, the boy, he picked scissors as usual. And then we went scissors again, but Carpath was all in our head. He knew what we were going to pick. So we unfortunately lose this die roll. Now our opening hand is pretty good. This hand can net us 2 synchros, level 6, level 8. So we're looking pretty good. He goes, we see a Strizzy, so we're thinking, okay, it's going to be the hero mirror match. But then next thing you know, he banishes Plasma. If somebody's playing Plasma, they're just trying to be degenerate. They're not here to play real Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is to be expected of Carpath. Not saying he's a bad duelist or anything, but he just tries to get you with degenerate strategies. So now, thinking about our turn here, we try to figure out what's best. After we set one and we see the thinking icon, we already know. What's his back row? Trap Dust Shoot. One of the most savage cards in the game. So by sending back the Diva, it makes our hand completely and utterly dead. So goodbye, Diva. Now, if he didn't send back that Diva, we could have did so much brokenness. But instead, now our hand just becomes terrible. We do have the option to Rhoda for Greffer, and then pitch Mali, pitch Plague, make a level 8, and sit under a Solemn. But the problem with that play is you never want to go for Dark Greffer unless you're going for game. Because Dark Greffer, he's a big fat minus. Like, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That's where Greffer is. He's a minus. And, a long time ago, I had a friend that said, sometimes you got to minus the plus. But this is not one of those situations. If you're going to Greffer, go for game. Greffer, game, they both begin with a G. It's not a coincidence. So instead, we hit up the Rhoda, and we Rhoda for our boy Strizzy. Okay? Strizzy, we're not going to be slow and add the second Molly. So instead, we add the Prodigy. And we have sex. We crash. So now we're in a state where Carpath knows everything. And as you can see, the boy's hand isn't looking too fresh right now. We're in a really bad situation. Okay? He doesn't know we have bottomless set because we set that before the dust shoot. We take 14 to the cranium, and now it's our go. Thankfully, we do pull the Diva again. That is the only saving grace. If we didn't get that Diva then, our hand would be dead. And we know we shuffled the deck because we wrote it. Anyway, our only play here, well, not our only play, but our best play here is to put Malicious in the grave. Because by doing so, if he overextends with a solemn set, I can actually hit him with the Okie Doke. The Okie Doke, in other words, is the Colossal Fighter Army Arm OTK. So in my head, I was hoping that he would summon a monster that I could equip Army Arm to, then drop Colossal Fighter and, OTK him. And with Solemn set, there's like a 69.99% chance that I win. But unfortunately for us, he doesn't take the bait, and he runs over the Malicious and sacks for the Caius. Now, looking at this game in retrospect, he did it in a smart order, because had he sacked for that Caius main phase 1, he and I both know that Solemn Judgment would have got slammed. But a main phase 2 Solemn, we're not too worried. We don't want to banish our life points for anything. As long as the Malicious is in the grave, we're Gucci gang, baby. So, this is the situation I was explaining earlier. As you can see, I have the setup for the Colossal Fire and Army Armor OTK. Only difference is, we don't know what that back row. That back row is literally any playable Yu-Gi-Oh card, Wabaku, Mirror Force, Regeki Break, Book of Moon, MST. If it's literally any Yu-Gi-Oh card that exists in modern Yu-Gi-Oh history, this Colossal Fighter Army Arm OTK is just gonna, be laughing at us in our face. So we opt not to go for it, and instead just go with a level 8 play. Now, if he torrentials here, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, at least he loses a Caius. But fortunately for us, he actually doesn't have the torrential. So we're gonna summon Plague because at this point, summoning Diva doesn't merit a proper follow-up. So we're just gonna go the go-to, good old Star Diesel, the tried and true. Stardust, run over Caius, and now we're big chillin', chillin' dude 829, as some people might say, right? We're big chillin'. All right, that was a Smash reference for those of you who missed that. Now we're sitting pretty on a Stardust, and he's in a very awkward situation. Okay, you actually can't summon Prodigy in defense mode, but honestly, I'm not an a-hole. As long as it leaves the field that turn, then why make a big fuss out of it, right? So he summons Dasher, and we finally reveal our back rows that's been set there since turn 1, which is Bottomless. So, in other words, keep falling, Dasher. Keep falling. Go to the depths. Now we're in a pretty strong position because his back row isn't anything that's real, or so we think. So it's time to get offensive. It's time to get offensive. Okay? So it's just a little sad we didn't get a monster other than Diva, because I do like to save Diva for like the emergency situations, but you can't let your opponent keep drawing into brokenness. So we got to make a play. We got to make a play. We don't want to lose. We want to win. That's what we're here for. The DJ Khaled, all we do is win. He takes 600. He takes 17, and he mirror forces, obviously showing signs of the gores, right? So very, very sad because to the untrained duelist, it actually looks like we don't have an out to the gores. And maybe that's what Carpath saw. I'm not saying he's an untrained duelist. I'm just saying sometimes you slip and you mess up. You mess up, you miss things, right? So we go for the Magical Hoe, the android. And we remember that we have a Plague Spreader zombie in the grave. So, Black Rose, baby. Black Rose, blow up. So we're still in a superb position. We cleared this field. We got Stardust on the field. We have Caius on top of our deck. We have Caius in our hand. We have a Prodigy in our hand. We're sitting pretty. We're looking good. Okay? Now, at this point, I'm not going to lie. I was afraid. Because I was like, if he summons Plague, if he summons Caius, then that's the end of me. But when he summoned the machine monster, Cyber Volley, we knew we were like Allstate. We're in good hands. Okay? Now, because he summoned Level Eater, here, now what we're thinking is he actually may have Caius, right? Because there's a potential he drew into the Caius from the Cyber Volley draw. So like we need to kill this Level Eater. And if he Necros, then he's protecting it so that he can Caius, right? We don't want to just summon Prodigy as a liability. However, when he stopped the attack, I'm thinking, okay, he has Caius. So who needs to come out? Our big boy Caius of our own. Hit him with the Shadow Ball Jutsu. Only problem is now we're a little vulnerable, right? We're a little, open. He goes set, draw, easy, simple play. Bring out Caius number 2. How do you feel? How do you feel when your opponent goes Caius, summon Caius? Do you feel sacked? I know you do. That's the worst feeling ever. And now that I'm looking at his hand, he has brain control, mind control. It's just sad to see. It's sad to see, And that's another reason why I don't play D-Draw as well. D-Draw, he's playing more heroes than me, obviously, right? He's playing Dasher. He's playing Malicious. He's playing other, Stratos. Stratos isn't a D hero, but Stratos searches out a guy. The whole point is he plays a lot of ways to resolve his D-Draw. But nonetheless, D-Draw, dead draw. Don't play D-Draw in Edison format, guys. It's just not as good as you want it to be. All right, so starting up game two. Now, game two, we have a really aggro hand here. If you look once again, we have the option to make two synchros. We can make Goyu and we can make Stardust. So we need to think carefully about the best play. I decide it's better just to play defensively. Torrential is filled, let him commit. And then after he commits to the field, that's when we're going to drop Goyu Stardust, and we'll be in great shape. Now here he flips Sangan. What's going through my mind is he's going to search a tuner, right? Because he has Malicious in the grade. So he's going to search like a Plague, or he's going to search a Diva, or some kind of tuner. And he does search a tuner, but not the one I was expecting. Quickdraw. With me having an open field, this puts your boy in a very bad situation, okay? We're taking this 24, and Carpath knows we don't have anything because he doesn't even bother to half the Drill Warrior. He's like, a true hero. You're right now, you're a bitch with no ass. You ain't got shit. That's what Lil Wayne said. So we draw for turn, and we look at our hand, and we know immediately we lost. We lost. Our only out is pulling Fossil Dino. If we pull Fossil Dino, then we can win. We draw, we didn't get Fossil Dino. That's GG. He won. Doesn't matter what play we do, there's no way we can stop his next turn. Because of the cards he has in his graveyard, he has basically access to any level 8 Synchro. Which means no matter what Synchro I make, he can counter. Because Darkened Dragon's a broken card. And you just can't deal with that. So I just have to hope and pray. And guys, you know you're in a bad situation when you're hoping and praying. But I just have to hope and pray that he doesn't have an out to Colossal Fighter. Now here, there's many plays I could have done. There's many ways I could have did it. But at the end of the day, I realized the game is over. I can't stop Drill Warrior. I can't stop a level 8 Synchro. Brain Control's not doing anything for me right now because I don't want to take a useless token. You know, what am I going to do? I'm going to Black Rose? Like, no. It doesn't make sense. He's going to bring back his Drill Warrior and he's going to take those big drills he has and he's going to shove it right up somewhere unpleasant that I won't say for my younger viewers. Okay? So anyway, we run over the tokens and sees he has Book of Moon, which means even if we did pull the Fossil Dino like we originally wanted to, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He had me going for a fool. There was just no way I was going to win. That's just it. But of course, we don't want to admit defeat, right? We're going to play it out. Some say it's a waste of time. Oh, what are you doing? You know it's over. Admit defeat. But this is the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! That you duelists have to understand. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, you're not the one who wins. Your opponent is the one who loses. Now you might be thinking, oh, Cairo, what does that mean, right? I thought it's the same thing. No, it's not. Your opponent is the one who loses because your opponent is the one who misplays themselves out of a victory. Go back and watch your duel records on Dueling Book if you don't believe me. A lot of times you get victories not because you played well, it's because your opponent misplayed. And you know, we're people, right? We're not robots. We're not, chess maniacs. You know, everybody makes mistakes, even great YCS champions. But at the end of the day, you get most of your victories because your opponent gave them to you. So even in this game, I gave Carpath the game. What did I do wrong? You know, I prematured torrentialed. Okay? Admittedly, it wasn't a good torrential. I should have tried to be more conservative instead of being aggro. And I just got a little bit too happy and I flipped up torrential. But we've all had that moment before, right? When we're a little excited and things just happen prematurely. And how does that end? It doesn't end good for anyone, especially for you. So here I'm thinking, all right, he misplayed because he sent back my Dark Grepher. He knew it was Dark Grepher. But then he shows me this Caius, and I was just like, it just didn't matter. It just didn't even matter. I don't even know why I bothered subtracting the life points. I should have just admitted defeat. You know, He played it. He played it perfectly. He played it perfectly. I mean, maybe not perfectly, right? Because Gores would have fucked him over. But anyway, regardless. So here we are, finally, game 3 between me and Carpath. And let me remind you guys again, if you look on his YouTube channel, he has been slaying people with this deck. And look at my hand, guys. My hand is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It's not broken, but it's pretty good. Now, we only really have one play because we don't have a way to protect Fossil Dino, so we don't want to just summon him. Now, being able to see Carpath's hand, had we summoned Fossil Dino and just ended, he would have been fucked. What is he going to do? I mean, you could argue that he can just book a moon randomly and then do the same plays that he's doing, but it's a gamble. It's a gamble like Gamble and Proctor. He wouldn't have known that he would have pulled into the cards that he did in order to out the Fossil Dino. So just summoning Fossil Dino raw was an option, but I don't believe it's the better play. Summon Fossil Dino when either 1, you're going to push for game, or 2, you have a way to protect him. So I just figured I'll sit on this Snowman Eater and I'll be good. And then Carpath hits me with the most unexpected turn. You see, he's just going off. He's drawn into his deck. And then I'm like, all right, that's fine. This is all good. He sets back rows. I'm like, hey, he's going to attack my Snowman Eater. And out of nowhere, this motherfucker comes. Who the fuck drops Dark Arm turn 1? Excuse my language, but really, a turn 1 Dark Arm. And guys, look at my hand. I don't have an out to Dark Arm at all. Like, I just lose. I just lose. And I'm looking at my hand and I'm thinking what I can do. And he flips up Dust Shoot. So I couldn't even help. Look at the chat, guys. Look at the chat. Look what I say. I'm just laughing. I'm literally laughing because I was like, if he sends back Malicious, that's game. I don't have any playable turns. He sees my whole hand. He has an out to Fossil Dino because he has Dark Arm staring at the face. And Fossil Dino can't beat over Dark Greffer. He still has Darks in the grave. But what does he do? He makes a savage misplay. Guys, this is what I was just saying. You don't win the games because you played well. You win the games because your opponent misplayed. All he had to do is send back Malicious, and he won. And he won. Fossil Dino's not going to do anything. Caius isn't going to do anything. Miracle Fusion is dead. Just send back the Malicious, and you win. So, now we have Hope alive, right? So immediately we need to get this Dark Arm off the field because Dark Arm's a problem. He pops that return and it's lights out. There's nothing we can do. Okay? So we're just praying he can't do anything. We're praying. We're like, all right, we're at 35. Like, if he has any plays with this Dark Greffer, then like that's just it. And there's literally nothing we can do. So we're praying right now. We're like, God, if you're out there, hear this one prayer. Let this man be punished for his misplays. Let this man allow me to have a chance at victory. Just a chance. That's all I want. I just want a chance to prove myself. To prove that a true hero, no, to prove that Diva Heroes is the deck. So anyway, he goes to battle phase. We take 17. The prayer was answered. We got another chance. So now we draw for turn. We draw a dead card. But, you know, it's not bad because one of these Miracle Fusions is live. So now we're actually at a kind of a standstill. Like, what should we do? You know, should we banish Maui for Maui and then sack it for Caius? Should we go Miracle Fusion and then sack 0 for Caius? It's actually quite a difficult situation, you know? But ultimately, what we're thinking is one of his back rows is Starlight Road. That was my read. So what I wanted to do was sacrifice 0 for Caius. Let me tell you guys something, a little trick about Absolute Zero. When you sacrifice Absolute Zero for a Caius, in most cases, your opponent cannot respond because Absolute Zero becomes Chain Link 1 and Caius becomes Chain Link 2, meaning that your opponent cannot activate Starlight Road because Starlight Road has to activate directly in chain sequence to the card that it wants to, destroy. And since Caius would be chain link 2, the window is missed. So we go for that play, and we hit a Mirror Force, which is a great hit. Absolutely great hit. The power of the dice gods are on us. And we attack. I mean, what else can we do? We swing for 24. And we're like, all right, we hope he doesn't have anything. And he does it. Yes, a miracle happens. Okay. He draws for turn. And there's nothing you can do. And now I'm thinking, yes, look at this. The rich get richer. Now we pull a fossil dino. So now we're sitting pretty because we're like, okay, he doesn't have torrential, right? Because he would have torrential before. So we're like, okay, he doesn't have Mirror Force. So now it's the time to put the pressure on. So let's summon this fossil dino. And we swing with 12. We swing with 24. He takes 12. And he book-a-moons the fossil dino on the 24 swing, allowing him to drop the gores. And at this point, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit upset. I didn't see that coming. He got one over on me. I was like, did I come this close for nothing? Though he misplayed, did I misplay? Is this going to cost me? Am I going to lose this set? So I'm like, all right, let me think. Let me go back to main phase 2. Because I do have a Miracle Fusion, right? And I have the return. So I can force plays by flipping up returning and then Miracle Fusion. But I'm like, well, as long as he doesn't have Caius, I'm good. Because if this fossil dino gets flipped faced up, goodbye Gores. Goodbye token. Like, fossil dino is going to be the G. Fossil dino is going to hold it down. So we're just like, as long as he doesn't have Caius, we're Gucci gang. We're Gucci gang. So we think for a minute, and then we decide, okay, even if he does miraculously have Caius, we have return. So we can return and bring our monsters back in defense mode to keep us safe. All right. So after weighing those calculations, we end our turn. He brings back the Level Eater, and now we're scared. Because it's like, oh, well, he had the Caius. He really had the Caius. And I was like, well, I'm preparing to press a mid defeat. And then when we see that, we're like, oh, well, we know that's a malicious. We take some damage there. 300, not too bad. And we're like, okay, well, that means he has to attack this fossil dino. And when he does, his field's going to say goodbye. Boom. Now here, I'm just asking for one draw. Give me a tuner. Any tuner. If I get a tuner, flip up return, bring back malicious, bring back a water, summon diva, summon plague, and that's it. It's game. Make Dark End, send, Miracle Fusion. Good night. Good night. But we're just not that lucky. We're just not that lucky. And then we contemplate, well, do we want to bring back the guys off return and then Miracle Fusion? But there's just no point because we know his his face down monster is malicious. So we're not really too worried. Okay. And he pulls Caius. He pulls Caius off the top. A little aggravating, and he knows I have return, right? Because he does shoot at me, right? So it's annoying that he happened to get that off the top. I would have preferred him to get a Stardust, to be honest, but it is what it is. Okay? Boom. Force. We're in a bad situation because now we can literally pull a malicious, but we pull Gores. So we draw and we end. There's nothing we can do. We just draw and we end, And we're like, well, Carpath, if you got it, you got it. You ended us. And we're like, oh, he's going to go attack and then sack Caius. But when he summoned the Dandy and he attacked with the Dandy, we couldn't help but to laugh. Why? Because that's GG no re, baby. Right there. Oh, now he might have thought, oh, a true hero savaged him by pulling Gores off the top. But remember what I said. I didn't win because I pulled Gores. My deck gave me Gores. I won because he savagely misplayed by sending back the malicious. But at the end of the day, this is no disrespect to Carpath. Carpath, once again, an elite duelist, one of the best of Edison format. But hey, I got your number today. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Catch up with you later. Peace.